Alright, so this is early access Athena Crisis. The game is going to come out in quarter 2 of 2024. It's going to be available by phone, by browser, by app, through Steam. Athena Crisis is in an unfinished state. It's in early access. Anyone who is interested can go to the link above, athenacrisis.com, to sign up for early access. The game is in ongoing development. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's go to the campaign. It's kind of interesting. We'll go ahead and play the prequel campaign and play one of the missions. And for the sake of this stream, I'm going to go with hard playstyle. I've played games like this before. The game does draw inspiration from Advance Wars. And those games, as Christoph, the developer, was a big fan of Advance Wars growing up and wanted to make a game that really kind of tried to expand on it. Here we go. The first mission, we're going to go ahead and play Shrine. Hello there, Sam. This is the proto campaign. I was told nothing that happens here has an impact on the Athena Crisis, or does it? What are you talking about, Sam? We are surrounded, and you think you got time to break the fourth wall? Bazooks! What? How did we get overrun by enemies? Not prepared for this. I don't even have any weapons. Let me handle it. How about you build a barracks or a factory at the construction site? Oh, okay, just one more thing. You can long press any time on a field to get more information about units or buildings. So I am pink. I have 3 units here. I'm going to go ahead and showcase. So this is not a particularly big map as an initial map. What we have on the other side is I've got a flamethrower, which is, you know, an infantry that can can do damage to tanks and things like that. We've got an infantry here, and Valentine. Infantry in the forest called Thane. A pioneer is an infantry that cannot attack, but can build. So you can see some ruins here. A pioneer can actually go and build on a construction site and build bases. So this is a construction site, this is a house, sorry. But you can build like a base, that sort of thing, to build units. And then you've got a shipyard, which also has some properties. But like in Advance Wars, we've got various types of terrain. We've got water, we've got reefs. Forest and mountains can be extra defense. Rivers kind of block the flow of vehicles and things like that. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and move my pioneer over and go ahead. I can either build this or this. So this is going to give you kind of your normal infantry types. This is going to give you your vehicles. It's going to be a little different in that sense because in Advance Wars, it's kind of both in one. So I'm going to go ahead and build just a normal infantry one so I can kind of showcase that. The pioneer just disappears and becomes the barracks. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and start a fight here. I'm going to take my flamethrower over and you can kind of drag. I'm currently playing on PC. So therefore, I'm able to stream. I wouldn't be able to do it on the phone. But basically you move over. You can kind of drag, and you can kind of see what kind of damage your unit's going to do. In this case, 100 health minus 100, it's going to knock it out. So there's less of a luck factor in this game than, say, in something like Advance Wars, but it also means it's very mathematical. You can go and attack, and you pretty much know what's going to happen. So flamethrower knocked out the enemy there, I can go here, for example, and start attacking. And you can kind of see potential damage on each side. This is a normal infantry attacking a flamethrower. A flamethrower can do a little bit more damage. So therefore, it can kind of fire back a little bit and do quite a bit back towards the infantry. But I'm going to go ahead and just attack here. I guess it made sense for me to go down to this square rather than this, because it would have allowed my flamethrower to get through a little bit easier, but that's okay. Same thing over here, infantry attacking a bazooka. I am slotted to lose 15 health versus the 40 for the bazooka. It's a pretty good advantage. We go ahead and attack. There are a few kind of unique features. You can always look at win conditions on the side here. You can either defeat all units or capture the headquarters, which is not that different, you know, from Advance Wars necessarily. It's kind of similar. There are different win conditions on each map. You can kind of see, if you click other units, you can kind of see where they can move and attack, which I didn't do because I just didn't really need to at that point. But on the side, here on the bottom, you can end your turn and advance to the enemy turn. Enemy's just going to go and attack. I find this music to be pretty catchy for something that's repetitive, which is definitely a good thing for any game. So we're going to move the flamethrower over. And I can go and just wipe out the flamethrower. So I have lost one unit because I just went down one. Hey Miles, this is not Advance Wars. This is Athena Crisis. So Athena Crisis is an Advance Wars inspired turn-based strategy game. It's currently in early access. It is not available as a fully developed game yet. It is currently in ongoing development. It's unfinished, but the developers should get this done probably in the spring from the sounds of it. So that will be available down the road on Steam, by phone. Yeah, it'll be good. But so going back to the barracks is something I can build units here and build a pioneer, which is worth $100, 150 for the infantry, 250 for the bazooka guy, and then 400 for the flamethrower. In the meantime, I'm just gonna let me build a. Okay, so I guess there was a connection error, but again, it's still in development, so those things are gonna happen. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep doing damage. But yes, the link above is the link for Athena Crisis Early Access. So I did lose my connection momentarily here, so I'm gonna actually do a quick in and out. There's still certainly some glitches that are being fixed at the moment, so give me one moment. This is actually the introduction for it. So going back to it. I will just build a bazooka guy just for the just do it. It's actually called, I think of him as bazooka guy, but really a rocket launcher is what they call it in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and advance. So it's round 3. You gain a little bit of money and shown in the top left here for any properties, kind of like in Advance Wars. Just gonna go ahead and win on Shrine here and try to show another mission. Yes, that will do it. Let's get out of here. Play the next level. They are close to home. So this is a Fog of War mission. Finally back to HQ. How is it possible that we are being overrun by enemies from all sides? Something's up. Battle first, talk later. All your base are belong to us. I wouldn't be so sure that Yuki a little help. They invaded us close to our base. We have to protect our buildings or we won't be able to hire reinforcements. So what are we looking at here? Okay, so we've got a pioneer. Again, pioneers can only capture, or they can really only capture buildings. They can build buildings if it is something that can be buildable on like a construction site. You've got a rocket launcher. You've got some tanks, small tanks. They're very sized tanks in this game. Artillery, which have to be in position to fire. Rocket launcher. This is the headquarters. Now, the difference between a headquarters in this game versus Advance Wars is you can actually build from the headquarters like it is a deployment base. Here's a factory which is going to allow you to build tanks and things like that, and such things like APUs, which I will showcase a little bit. There are jeeps. Jeeps can refuel. They're kind of like APCs in Advance Wars. But the difference is, like APCs, that's all they can do, but they have separated functions. So the function really is just a matter of refueling. It can't really transport. That is a different unit in the game. Alright, so what we're going to do here is start the fight. So artillery, if they're set, they can fire from a distance like this. In the meantime, I'm going to move my mech out. Artillery can fire from a little bit of a distance like that, so I can go ahead and do it like that. In the meantime, I can use my mech, get it in the forest. This is still kind of an advantage, like in any other kind of Advance Wars type game. I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. Take out the APU. Target the small tank. Again, I'm looking at things on the top there. 100 minus 55, 100 versus 9. So that's a pretty good advantage to take cover and attack from cover. So here, I am going to build another small tank and leave it on here. Like in Advance Wars, if you end up having something on the base, you're not going to be able to really move anything, build anything from it. So kind of the same idea here. I'm going to keep my infantry on the headquarters to attack. But on the headquarters, because I can actually deploy something here, and I'm going to go ahead and deploy a normal infantry. And that reveals an artillery. That artillery is going to do some damage, and so that's not going to be great. In the meantime, I'm just going to move my jeep out. I'm going to move my tank out a little bit. Get in position. I'm going to move my pioneer a little closer to the action, and that's that. Those are my turns. How to win, defeat all units, or capture the headquarters. So the enemy is attacking first now, trying to take advantage of mountains, and the AI is pretty decent because this is the hard difficulty, so to speak. So fighting back a little bit here. They bring out a jeep. My pioneer can actually go and cross over and start capturing. That locates an artillery, which is good to know. You always kind of want to know where those kind of things are. And use this infantry to knock out the other. 15 minus 35 is going to knock it out. In the meantime, let's take a brief pause. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring my tank over to try to damage the artillery, because the artillery also block off the factory here. I'll go ahead and bring the tank down and attack the artillery, because don't really want to have artillery in a spot that can do a lot of damage because it attacks from distance. Now, the interesting thing about the artillery in this game is that it's a move first kind of artillery. You have to have it set in position. It's harder to show right now, but I will show once I'm able to actually move this artillery, and you'll kind of see how that works. In the meantime, I'm just going to go and wipe out this tank from afar. The other thing to notice is on the bottom there, rocket launcher 3840, 3 of 4. The 3 of 4 is fueling, so the ammo is the thing that's kind of like in Advance Wars, but fueling is kind of a little more important in this game than in Advance Wars. Take out those. Bazookas tend to be very good against tanks. And then I can do a refuel situation. Noticing the 3 of 7 here. It's already been in a bunch of fights. This is a refuel. It's going to resupply all those units. And then I have the money to build more stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and build another tank just because I can afford it. And I build another infantry. Money is on the upper left here. So that's what I'm gauging when I'm building units. Alright, we're off to the next turn. Enemy's been pretty weakened at this point. I can still attack from afar. So the interesting thing about artillery is... I'm trying to remember how I will actually show it. It doesn't really matter though. I can attack from a distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 squares, I'm still able to attack. I'm going to keep moving my units forward now and focus on completing the win here. There is a barracks on the side that they could use to build units. In the meantime, I'm just going to start moving tanks up. This Pioneer can finish capturing. Move some tanks over to see what else is out there. I can use, like any infantry unit in Advance Wars, a rocket launcher can start capturing. And this is the capture flag. And this is the headquarters, so once I capture the headquarters or I knock out every unit, that would be the end of what the enemy has. Putting a tank there just to kind of see what's out there, but otherwise I'm moving units up. And supply. Doesn't really even matter what I build at this point, I'm just not going to bother. There is one unit right here. It is a flamethrower. So you can drag the map up and down a little bit, so you can see that it was kind of off screen a little bit, but I can go and actually use my units like this. Move my tank up just so I can use this. Actually, that may not be a good move, but it'll be alright. Using a stronger tank, I can do a little bit more damage. Finish capturing the factory. This tank is stuck at this point. Maybe move a few more units over. This is probably overkill. Fairly sure it is overkill. But like in any Advance Wars game, kinda, you never know what's out there sometimes. Just going to go ahead and continue. I can skip 2 available units and just end turn. It doesn't really matter. And that's really the last unit they've got. But other than the fact that they built another one. So I'm going to start moving some units up. What I need to do is really cut off this headquarters so they can't do any damage anymore. Or build any more units. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is weaken it to... Yeah, weakening it to 69 is fine. One other thing I could have done is I could have built an artillery and attacked it from afar. Which I didn't do in this situation, but it's a workable situation. But I've blocked off their headquarters now. Again, their headquarters can build units. So I'll just leave it at that and just keep... I'm just going to continue instead of... spending time trying to build units when I have him cornered. There is another Jeep here that popped up. So let's go and beat up the Jeep, I guess, right? Let's go and take out the Jeep. All the Jeep does is resupply, so it's not super useful there. So that takes out Orange. That's another proto-campaign mission done. Athena Crisis in early access. All troops retreat. We will be back soon enough. Wait, who are you? Why are you doing this? They are gone, kid. We need to find Maxima. She'll know what's up. Christoph has put a lot of work into this game. I know he started making maps and kind of the design of it back in spring of last year, and he's really put a lot of work into the units. We've really only seen the infantry and the armor up to this point, but there's aircraft, there's naval units, and some unique ones too. So, which is a good segue into the next level, which is snipers, because there are new units. Okay, so it's foggy and we are surrounded by snipers. Not my favorite day of the week. I'll light the way. Fire! Not so fast. We need to use the terrain to our advantage. Let's make sure to hide in the forest. Alright, so there are dangerous units lying around. Now, what we want to take advantage of here is shelter kind of areas. Mountain provides better cover. Look at the 5 stars on the bottom left. Force is still pretty good at 4, but we probably want to take things off of... I mean, campsite is 3, which is something, but planes, we don't really want anything on those. So, there's a comment on... is there scoring yet? Oh, hi, Christoph. I will let Christoph answer that question. Whether or not there will be some eventually. Oh, not yet, but soon. So, this is kind of an interesting mission. I'm not going to share necessarily spoilers here until we see what these snipers are. But what I am going to do is I am going to pull back units a little bit. So there was a sniper that attacked and took out my unit here, and I think that... I'm actually not totally sure who that is. Because I believe this mission has been revised, so I'm going to have to find out where this unit is. Because I'm not actually sure. Okay, so find the sniper. Here's one of the snipers. So here's what we got. A sniper unit can attack from afar. Can certainly target things. I guess this was not... I mean, this was plane cover, so that's why I lost my unit here. This is a medic, by the way. You can move a medic next to any infantry, and it's going to heal. When you go ahead and use a flamethrower, 100 minus 100 is going to knock one out. Oh, but look at this. There is another enemy right here. So that's going to be a little problematic. So I may ultimately have to reset, not knowing where the sniper positions were here, as this mission continues to be developed in a way that is a little more balanced. So I'm going to take out the sniper right here. The weakness being I've already lost 2 units, and that's going to hurt just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move my infantry back this way, and look at this! What is this? Where did this dinosaur come from? So the dinosaur is one of the really cool units in Athena Crisis. I find it a really unique unit, but look at that. The dinosaur is going to be pretty strong. It's going to do quite a bit of damage to my infantry, but munch it is. I'm going to go ahead and use my medic to go ahead and... I think I did something wrong there, but medics are able to heal infantry generally. Dinosaur munching on some enemies here. So those were the 3 snipers. The dinosaur being a very interesting sniper on this mission. So that takes out the red, but there is still an orange that I need to locate. So let's see if we can locate orange. Got orange. Orange got another sniper here. Sniper not very hidden at that point. Allows me to beat orange. We made it out with all our body parts attached. My barbecue. Did you see that thing in the woods? Alright, let's keep going. Alright, next level is force, defense. Huh, those guys look different. Where are they coming from? Full steam ahead. We're trying to locate Maxima. I need your squad to take care of the enemy. We've been holding it back for quite a while, and some of us are low on ammo. We need supplies, fast. On my way. And that's the Jeep. That can... Oh. Connection issue. Okay. If we hide in the forest and hack from the mountains, we have a fighting chance. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting map. There are rivers, so you're kind of going off this windy road. No worries, Christoph. Not a problem. So street, you know, not as much cover. We've got forest, which has a bit more cover. This is fog of war, so we're taking advantage of vision. So, for example, the Jeep has a little bit more vision than some of the other units. Right now, the goal is going to be moving some of these units forward and kind of sneaking up on some of these units as they go up. In the meantime, I've got some infantry. Oh yeah, I need to do the, because of the new version, I need to quit out and I will get right back into it. So let me do that real quick. Alright, going back in, I'm going to go ahead and capture some buildings. Some of these houses. Start moving some tanks up. This is a fog of war map, so like in any turn-based strategy game, fog of war, you want to stay hidden for at least a little bit. So this I'm not going to... Well, actually, let me think about this. So, one thing that's really interesting about this map is that 2 of the rocket launchers are down to 1 of 4 ammo, which leaves you in an interesting spot. You're going to have to refuel with that Jeep. Remy the Jeep pretty quickly. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead, do some capturing. Which also will reveal, you know, the tiles kind of surrounding it. Let's see where things are. So at this point, this rocket launcher will likely get attacked at some point. I actually kind of done a refuel here. Okay, anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and move a few units up because they're going to get refueled in a moment anyway. And try to do damage early to this tank. Which, look at this, rocket launchers can do a lot of damage to tanks, but only if they attack first. So I'm going to attack first, keeping it on the more defended forest tile. Actually, this is a mountain tile. My bad. This is a mountain tile, which gives perfect cover, 5 stars, versus the street, which gives no cover whatsoever. And then that's going to be my turn. I have one house here, but houses are basically like cities in Advance Wars. You can't really build out of them. Oh, I did not know about Control R. Thank you, Christoph. I learn new features with this game every time I play it, and it's neat to have a variety of ways to do things in this game. So this rocket launcher actually took a good number of hits, which is very nice. In the meantime, I've moved some units forward in a good way. Next move I've got is I need to do some refueling. Let's start by refueling this one, which was down to 1 of 4. Now it's back up to 4 of 4. And do some captures on this side. And on this other side, having lost one of the rocket launchers, it's time to actually advance with the other units. 28 minus 72. Again, rocket launchers attacking from mountains. Pretty good spot to be at. Same thing here, making use of the construction site cover of 3 stars. Humvees are fairly quick, cheaper units. They're not particularly strong as a result of that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and take out that Humvee. And take out the other Humvee as well. There's definitely an advantage in terms of taking out any units so that they can't attack again. Taking out and eliminating a unit altogether can be helpful. Sometimes even just knocking off a little bit of health can be useful, like on this. The rocket launcher's gonna get knocked out, but at least gets a hit in before getting defeated the next turn. So they pulled out a tank here, which, I mean, ideally I really should keep this Jeep alive. For example, because this rocket launcher is down to 1. That was the one that was always down to 1, but let's go ahead and go and supply all these surrounding launchers. Okay, one problem is I did move that tank out of range, but I will go ahead and use another rocket launcher to damage the tank. Let's go ahead and move these infantry up. Tanks are fairly slow through this kind of area, mostly because the mountains are in the way, and that was a mistake. I should have kept it on the road. In the meantime, I can do more damage and just hold my ground on this side. Always kind of look at the numbers before I attack to see what to take advantage of in terms of cover, in terms of who to attack. It being Fog of War, I don't necessarily see who is coming at me to attack, but they are bringing more infantry. They brought another tank and actually took a good position by grabbing the city, which was the AI is pretty savvy at a hard level. That is definitely good, because in Advanced Wars you kind of have the one difficulty. What we've got here now is interesting dilemma in terms of how to attack here. The rocket launcher can take out the tank, but I will move it on this side so I can give the tank some room to maneuver. Okay, actually, I misclicked, but this is actually good to show anyway. So you can look up information about units. For example, infantry. They're standard foot soldiers capable of capturing buildings. Balanced, cheap unit, effective against foot soldiers. Not as much anything else, but you can actually look up quite a bit of information in terms of movement, where they can move. It's kind of like a little more detailed version than Advanced Wars in terms of information. You can also look up tile information in terms of what can move through it and what cannot. Something that's kind of notable here is you can see some of the other units here. So you've got, for example, an anti-air unit, you've got fighters, you've got, you know, these little boats. Some boats can actually be amphibious. They can go on land or go back. Yeah, I need to ban the bot. Let's see. I just never quite remember how to do it because it doesn't happen very much. Alright, banned. Thank you, Miles, for pointing that out, because I wasn't looking too much at the chat there. Alright, anyway, going back to the screen now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the tank over here. I'm going to try to pull this tank off of that tile so I can actually do pull the tank off of that cover onto the road. In the meantime, what I'll do here is take out these infantry with rocket launchers. Unfortunately, I believe this Jeep is going to get KO'd. We'll keep moving. Actually, you know what? I can probably do some ammo refills before that, so I'm going to go ahead and use a refuel. Or resupply, rather. They pulled a tank out and try to run it away all the way over here. It is very interesting. Alright, having pulled the tank off, I can go and eliminate it. This map generally is all about cover. You want to take advantage of cover, use it well, and then you can take out tanks like that. Again, using the mountains for cover, takes out that infantry. So one thing that is different from Advance Wars is notice that with a very injured rocket launcher, I was still able to take out and capture the construction site on only 2 turns. Health does not matter in Athena Crisis in the same way for capturing buildings as in Advance Wars. Well, that's not entirely ideal, but at least I do a little bit of damage in the meantime. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull my Jeep back down because my rocket launchers here are out of ammo, and this is going to allow resupplying, and I can keep using them for the fight as I go up to the northwest part of the map. Alright, it's time to keep moving now. Keep moving these units up. So I definitely have enough to do a lot of damage. With this mech, I'm just going to keep... Well, not really a mech, it's a rocket launcher. Advanced Wars talk there. Rocket launcher, doing quite a bit of damage against the small tank. So it's going to fight relatively evenly. And then... what's next is, you know, there's 2 houses here, there's 2 houses here. I gotta see if there's anything left in this area. Also, there are ruins here. Which, with a pioneer or something, which I don't have, I could probably make something out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and move this up to resupply, because that looked like there's that kind of icon when it's low on when a unit's low on ammo. I'm gonna move the other rocket launcher this way. Yeah, I think the army colors are pretty neat. There are, I think it's like 7 or 8 army colors, which gives it, this game, a little more variety than the basically 5 colors in Advance Wars. So this is very interesting. Look at this. So I do damage to the small tank, but the small tank is completely out of ammo. 0 of 7. So I can just keep attacking the tank now, and the tank can't do anything back. It's completely out of ammo. So there's a little bit more in terms of an ammo mechanic in this game than you might be familiar with if you played a lot of Advance Wars. Having a Jeep around, generally a good idea in Athena Crisis. Sure enough, there is an infantry up this direction. So let's see what we can do to do damage to the infantry. So we've got mountain cover, which is going to be the best approach in terms of attacking the infantry over here. Taking advantage of the better cover. And then I'm going to go ahead and corner this enemy by attacking on this side. I'm actually going to pull the rocket launcher off. This is moved. No, wait, actually, that's not right. Still getting used to a few things here and there, but I have that surrounded. And I can go and capture these houses. There is one more Jeep here, and that is definitely something that's good to know, because I'm going to have to take that out. Now the Jeep is interesting because, again, Jeeps can't attack. They can only refuel. Capturing cities in the meantime. Jeep is pretty much surrounded now, so there's not much left to do other than take that out, and then I will win the mission. Oops, that is not what I meant to do, but it's okay. Green was defeated. Not too bad. Something is not right here. Why are we being invaded by different factions? Trench Run is the next one. Let me see, I've been at this for just under an hour. Yeah, let's go ahead and show a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and do Trench Run. Trench Run is kind of interesting. Okay, kids, see that research lab over there? We have to capture it. It doesn't matter if it's you or me, but one of us has to go through the trench. A trench run? I've seen a movie about this. Listen, this is not the time for pop culture references. Alright, alright. If we're gonna do this, we'll need some cover. See this cannon? So cannons are kind of a unique thing. They're kind of like artillery. It's a prototype. Cannons have huge, long-range firepower. But they aren't very mobile. They can barely move, in fact. OMG, fire. Hold up. You need to be careful here. We cannot lose our pioneers or infantry. Let them come to us. Alright, starting point, we've got cannons. And they can attack from afar. And notice there are some new units. Heavy artillery can attack from pretty far. Look at that range in red. You've got other heavy tanks, and heavy tanks are certainly much stronger than these small tanks. So, what we have on the pink side versus the yellow side, we've got a bunch of rocket launchers, we've got flamethrowers, some various types of infantry. But the big things are these cannons. We want to make sure these cannons aim at the right targets, and really they don't get knocked out. So, and I also have an artillery, which I can use to attack. So starting point, I'm going to use the artillery to attack the heavy tank. And the cannons that go for the heavy tanks first, because they are the stronger units. And then I can use the rocket launcher to finish off the heavy tank. That's already been damaged. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting map. It's a defensive map to start. Obviously, there's gonna be units coming from the lab that are gonna attack. Move some of the other units up as well. I do have a medic, so you're kind of seeing the culmination of a lot of these units. Kind of all in one spot now. Attacking first always has the advantage, so I'm trying to attack as much as I can, aiming for the heavier units. Try to do a little more damage. This is, for any new viewers, this is Athena Crisis in early access. It's currently in development. So it's still being tweaked by Christoph, the developer. Link to the Athena Crisis early access is above at athenacrisis.com. It's unfinished, but as you can see, it's already pretty fun and pretty interesting game. So it looks like I'm holding strong here. There's some tanks that have sort of gotten through, but not very well. They're moving some heavy tanks across the bridge and away from the lab. But I still have pretty good positioning on my artilleries. Well, my artillery got taken out, but the cannons are doing quick work of a lot of enemies here. This rocket launcher is getting a little too close for comfort, so I'm going to try to... That's why I was aiming for the rocket launcher here. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's a pretty game up to this point. There's actually different tile sets as well. So you're kind of seeing in this early access version really just kind of one type of tile set. There's others. Like there are desert tile sets, there's ice, there's fire, there's other ones that kind of add a little more variety than what you might see in Advance Wars. Which this game is certainly inspired by. Alright, so the challenge here is I need to get close enough to that thing. Heavy artillery has some solid range. Although, I guess I got my tank far enough so I can start attacking it from afar. So this heavy artillery is weakened. The big things that are coming now are going to be these heavy tanks. More than anything else. The 2 infantry will come a little closer. So the one thing is I can't get it back over because of the mountains. So this is kind of in the way, but I can still do some refueling. Some good variety in tile sets, as you can see. Not every forest looks exactly the same or needs to look exactly the same. Now this medium tank, as you can see, is pretty strong, so I am gonna have to wait before I can really do a whole lot of damage to it. I need it to get a little closer, and then I can use my cannons to really take it out. I love these cannons, they are so helpful. Glad we could help out with our secret prototype. You weren't supposed to find out about them at this point in time. You got it. Now take them back to the shop for repairs. Alright, I think we're getting closer to finding Maxima. The invading forces have a huge base in the desert. I'm not sure about this cannon guy. Bazooks! Sam! Focus! Alright, I think this is kind of a good stopping point for the stream. Thanks for watching. I'm sure Christoph, as the developer, appreciates it. Kind of to wrap this up, again, game is in early access. It's in an unfinished state. The game's still being developed, but it is already well on its way. It's set to be released Q2 2024, and the early access is available at the link above. But thank you for watching.